All right, team, let's do this. Today, we're going to talk about how to turn your prospects into paying clients faster. And the keyword is going to be on faster, because right now what's happening is you've got people coming into your ecosystem maybe, and it's taking forever for them to turn into actual paying clients. And if you're anything like me, we just can't be waiting around for that to happen. So I've used this system in my own business to grow it to 7 figures over the past year, as well as my other brick and mortar business to 700K. And I'm going to give you those exact steps. These are also the exact steps we teach inside of the CEO Clubhouse too. And there's actually a video on Kevin, if you just scroll through, on how he gained $40,000 just from his email list following this process. So there's really 3 kind of key things we want to talk about today, is how we bring people into our world, because we always need to be talking to new people. We can't be talking to the same people over and over and over again. We're going to talk about how we speed up the time by using our email list to direct people in different directions and binge our content just a little bit more. And then we're also going to talk about how we actually turn them into paying clients, which is arguably the most important part. So let's get down to business. So I'm a talker in a jar, so you're just going to have to deal with me. There's probably about 3 things that you're working through right now. And the very first thing is that you just don't have people to talk to. And this is a problem, right? Because the whole idea is that we have to be populating our list and bringing new people into our world over and over and over again, because we can't just talk to the same people all the time, where they're actually going to tune us out. And that's going to draw us away from the outcome that we're obviously trying to accomplish here. On the flip side, you might have enough people to talk to, but they're actually ghosting you. That, in my opinion, might actually suck a lot more, because you've put all this energy, time, attention on the front end to bring people into your world, and they're just not talking to you. So main thing here is how we get these people to actually engage with us. And then on the third side of that is we have people coming in, they're talking to us, but they're taking too long to make up their minds that they actually need our help and that I'm the person that's going to help them solve XYZ. Okay. The idea is that when somebody enters into our world, if we can bridge that time between, hey, I just found out who you are and I'm kind of interested in something that you spoke about, to, oh yeah, I actually need what you have and I need to pay you for that thing. We want to condense that time and actually get that person to become a paying client faster. And so we're going to talk about how do we do that. So let's focus it on not having enough people to talk to. And what we're really trying to do here is fill the pipeline consistently. And that's the key word, because right now you're probably doing a few things, and actually you're probably only doing one thing, and that's posting on social media, maybe. And if you are, it's probably a little inconsistent, or it's scattered, or it's random at best. So you can't really get some organic flow and exposure to what it is that you're doing, okay? So what we're really looking for here are 2 ways to consistently bring new people into our world. Now, when we're talking about our short form, there's kind of 2 primary goals that we're trying to do with that. The very first one is we're trying to get them to binge our stuff. It means that they're going to come into your system, into your feed, into your world, because something randomly showed up on their feed and created a small burst of interest. And so they go to your profile page and they scroll through and they watch a couple of other videos. That's kind of chef's kiss of what you ideally want to happen. And so binging your short form content is kind of step 1. The second thing that kind of happens with our organic content is once they start binging, these people, they are problem aware. And now they're just looking for the solution. And so they generally want more. So when we put out stuff on our socials that give them opportunities to raise their hands and actually get more to solve their problem, these are the people who are going to advance through the funnel. And that's really important, because these are the people who are starting to become ready. But it doesn't mean that they're fully ready, right? We've still got to condense that time. On the other side of bringing more people into our world are ads. Now, I'm a big proponent of ads. When they're done right, it's a easy way to bring new people into our world and control all the variables and speed that process up, versus just waiting to get really good at short form content and ideally hoping that the algorithm puts you in front of the right types of people. And so the 2 things here with ads is that we will always have new people to talk to. This is key, right? This is the thing that I've been repeating. This is the main concept of what we're trying to do on this one side, is we need to keep repopulating that list and growing that list, and ultimately ads let you control that the best. So new people to talk to, no brainer. On the flip side of that, these people are also problem aware. They are likely to digest content if you feed it to them strategically. And so having a simple welcome sequence, and I'm going to walk you through some of the details of this later on in the video, but having a simple welcome sequence at this point where they get directed different directions through your content, they're going to eat that up, and that's going to help condense that time. So massive key right here to capitalize on this new audience coming into your world. Now let's shift to the other side and let's talk about our prospects who are ghosting us. Like I said, this part sucks because you put all this time and attention, energy on the front end to bring these people in. You're trying to get them to talk to you, or maybe they start talking to you and then they just disappear. So what do we got to do to make these people be more likely to engage with us? Well, we're going to do this kind of like two different ways. First thing is I want to put out ample opportunities to invite them to come into my world further. Right? So this might look like lead magnets. This might look like posting YouTube videos. This might look like engaging questions where people just actually want to comment or argue about something. Just some way for them to engage further and put their hand up that they want to take the next step from you. Once we have that, then it's really about what we do in the DMs. How do we talk to these people? How do we converse with them? Because at that point, if we can get into a conversation with them, if we strategically structure that conversation, we can ultimately control that conversation. And if you're just slapping up questions to slap up questions, or you're asking open-ended questions that provoke like a chapter book response, that's when we're going to lose the interest of people. Like if I can ask questions that is strategically this or that, A or B type of formatting, it makes it really easy for them to answer. And easier it is for them to answer, the faster they're going to go down that sequence. This whole side of the process is important because we need these people to be willing to engage with us. We need these people to want more help. And this really helps us filter out the tire kickers, the freebie seekers, the people who just want stuff for free that aren't actually going to take any action and probably aren't ready for whatever the next step is. So we call these advancing to 4 to 5 star prospects. These are the people who will talk to you, who are giving you the right types of answers, who are showing you that they actually want help and are willing to go back and forth with you on that. And most importantly, when you say, do you want some help with this? They say yes. And then it makes it a no-brainer to advance them to the first step in your actual sales process. Which brings me to the last part. And this is about those prospects taking too long in the process to become ready to buy from you. And when somebody enters into our sales process, one of the best things that can happen is when they come into that call or they come into that conversation and they're starting to recite your own verbiage back to you. I don't know about you, but the first time I had that happen to me, that was such a cool feeling. I was like, bang on, this person knows exactly what I'm about. They know exactly that they need to be here. And it makes that conversation so much easier. And so this is just a matter of having people come to you pre-sold. And when we talk about condensing the time from prospect to client, this alone is probably the most important benefit of being able to control how people move through your system, because when they come to the call or they get into that conversation with you and they're reciting the verbiage back to you, you know that they're already ready. They're problem aware, they're solution aware. They know that you have the solution they need. And most importantly, they know that you are the person that they want to work with, which now you have all the keys, you just got to turn. So what I want to do is kind of break this system down just from a sky of view so you can see all the components and maybe find what is your easiest leverage point right now to install in your own business. Okay. So I'm a talker in a jar, so let's talk about it. The first part is short form, right? Your organic content. That's got to be a non-negotiable. On the other side, we have ads. 2 great ways to fill the pipeline, okay? So that's what we're doing on this section. We're filling the pipeline. Both of those scenarios are going to create opportunities where people come onto your email list. This is the nucleus of the entire system. This is the most important part. We need to get people onto the email list because that's how we direct the traffic. All right. You're the police officer standing in the middle of the road with the white gloves telling the cars to go in what direction. That's your email list. And so when they come onto your email list for the very first time, we're going to send them some very strategic emails right at the beginning as part of your welcome sequence. So the first one that we want to send out is what I call a filter question. This is a really easy question right off the hop that is A or B, and provokes a really easy response because, like I said earlier, if we can get them to respond to us, then we can control that conversation and things get way easier from there. So the very first thing I want to do is ask them a no-brainer question, but it also filters for me right off the hop if I know that this person is worth investing my time, energy, and attention in. So in my world, that looks like, hey, what kind of small business do you own? Because I want to know right off the bat if I can actually help you just based on your business type before I ask you any other detailed questions. And that's also a super easy question to answer, right? So first one's got to be a filtering question. From there, we actually deliver the thing. Whatever is the reason they came onto that email list in the first place, we've got to actually give it to them. And this is a really awesome opportunity to direct them different places. So if you have a YouTube channel where you have specific videos, or you have like a group, or you have like a landing page that gives something else, we can send them all different directions. And most importantly, we want to make sure that we tell them about our offer so that right off the hop, they know exactly what it is that you do. The next couple of emails in the sequence are going to be more specific about the problems that you solve. So problem 1, problem 2, problem 3, because these people that are coming into this, they're already problem aware. So we want to make sure that we really turn the dial on those problems and show them the gap from where they are right now, where they actually want to be, and what is involved in the middle part of that, and that you are the person who has those solutions for that middle part. And at the end, because you don't want to spend all this time investing in this person and then just let it go, which is the mistake that most people make, we want to actually invite them at this part, like a super direct, hey, I'm doing this thing. Do you want to come along with us? I have copious amounts of content about sending out invitations. So if this is something that you need work with and just how to ask people to actually work with you without feeling sleazy or anything like that, just click the link below to join my school group and you'll find all kinds of educational stuff in the classroom tab on just asking and inviting people to work with you. All right, so that's your welcome sequence. From there, we're not just going to let these people go and forget about them. We're going to push them into our next part of our email process. And so this is where the traffic cop comes out with the white gloves. The first thing we're going to do is we're going to put them into our daily email sequence. So all of the marketing material you're sending out on a daily basis, we got to make sure that they now get filtered into that process, first and foremost. Again, if this is something that you need help with, hit that school link below because there's a whole masterclass just on email marketing and how to get better at sending daily emails, stuff that actually converts, not just shit nobody wants to read, okay? Secondary to this, if you have long form content, whether it's YouTube or a podcast, we want to be distributing that to them on a weekly basis. So that means you're going to be producing long form videos or podcasts, and we're going to send an email that afternoon to say, hey, I just did this episode. It's all about this. It solves these problems. Here's some things to expect. Here's the link to click it. So click this link and go there so that we can take those people off the email list and put them somewhere else so that they can binge more content. But lastly, just as I mentioned before, we want to make sure that we're inviting regularly. And so regularly in our world looks like weekly. If you're going to put all of this effort into daily emails, into producing long form content, then you sure as heck want to be capitalizing on that effort by asking on a weekly basis for those who are ready to raise their hands so that they can move on to the next part of your process. Okay? No brainer, but probably one of the most underperformed aspects of a small business owner's marketing practices. I can guarantee you that in the 6 years that I've been mentoring small business owners, this is the common fault that I see, is just wasting attention. Now, when we do this process right, this is where people pay us money. They become happy paying clients. We get them the results that they want. And then that process just feeds right back into the beginning where we use their case studies or their testimonials or their results, all the good stuff as content, social proof that feeds the system all over again. And this is how we build our marketing ecosystem inside of the CEO Clubhouse for small business owners. When you can create this cycle, this is how we condense time from when somebody becomes a prospect and enters into your world for the very first time and learns about you to the time at which they start to give you money and become a paying client. If you can nail this down, if you can fill in the blanks, fill in the gaps of this process, it's going to make your marketing 100 times easier. And let me tell you, like I said, the first moment that somebody comes into your world and recites some verbiage that they heard you say in one of your videos you recorded 6 weeks ago, it's going to be the best feeling ever. It's going to make you feel like all the work and all the reps that you put in actually paid off, which is so fun and so rewarding. Now, if this is something that you want help with installing inside your small business, if you need a little bit more hands-on help, more magnifying glass on where you should be focusing and the scripts and templates and the done-for-you materials in order to make this happen faster, just hit me up on Instagram. The link is below in the description. Taryn Dubreuil, and DM me 99, and I'll know exactly what you're talking about, and I'll feed you everything you need in order to make this happen. All right, this was useful for you. Just pop a comment below and let me know. Otherwise, I'm never going to know, and I'll just keep producing stuff that maybe you don't want to watch. Maybe you do, but you got to tell me either way.